Hello and welcome to another update video about Bitcoin. Bitcoin is currently back below 40k. As you know, we were yesterday as well below 40k. We haven't managed to break above it again, and we're going to take a look at the chart. Generally, yeah, sideways movement here on the weekend. Not too much excitement. The last few weekends we've seen actually a bit of movement late on Sunday UK time. So yeah, pretty much in 12 to 18 hours maybe. Yeah, that is when the last few weekends we had some movement. So, but generally, yeah, crypto market in line with Bitcoin. A lot of sideways movement at the moment, bit of up and down, nothing exciting, no decisions really here on the weekend, at least until now. So this is the Bitcoin chart. For everybody who's new on the channel, let me zoom out. My view is, and remains, it has been since November, that Bitcoin is going and will end its correction somewhere here in that target area between 20 and 29k. That is the area that is located below the low of June. That was 28.7k. And that is important because in a so-called expanded flat pattern, which in my view we are seeing here, which is a corrective pattern as per the Elliott Wave theory, you should really ideally make a lower low. So again, it is the most likely version here, and because it is that is my primary expectation. Yes, there is a so-called running flat pattern where you don't need to do it, but for the running flat as well, I don't like the structure. Yeah, what we're doing here is not impulsive. So in a running flat, if you have already seen the low, you should really start and keep going now. And we haven't seen that yet. And also, I don't think we've seen the capitulation phase, which I've talked about various times and also shown other data that supports that we haven't seen the capitulation yet. The capitulation phase, however, is important to end a correction, a massive correction. And this is a massive correction. Yeah, it's taken a long time now. What else? Yeah, and we see here this bearish flag coming down. So you see the flagpole here, and we're currently in this channel, or actually we've moved out of the channel, and we're gonna take a look at that. We're just hovering below it, and also that would push us down. In addition to that, we are still below the 1 year moving average here in yellow. Whenever we've been in below the 1 year moving average, we've actually faced a strong decline. So that was, for example, here towards the end of the bear market 2018. And it was when COVID hit. That is when we were before below the 1 year moving average. I haven't checked if it was at any point before as well. Let's just take a quick look. Yes, exactly here as well. That was also a so-called bear market after the 2013 high. Also here towards the end of the bear market, we were in the we were below the 1 year moving average, and that is exactly what we're doing again. We are below the 1 year moving average, and in addition to that, we have never, or not yet, well, we fell below this head and shoulders pattern here, and we have not managed to reclaim it. So we are still below the neckline, have retested that neckline now 3 times, 1, 2, 3 times, and that would also take us down into the yellow target area, maybe even a bit lower. And yes, lower prices than the target area are possible, but people would really call me crazy if I talk about that now. We need to see how the price is reacting to the target area. And also one more reason is that in that target area we have the 61.8% Fibonacci retracement level at around 27k, and that is the most likely Fibonacci retracement level for generally. And if we draw the fibs, you will see that we have the 61.8% fib level there. Just need to catch the low here. And where's the 61.8? No, let me just zoom out. Didn't pick the right low. Need to pick that one. That is here around here. You can see that one, that horizontal line. It's located at, just above 27k. So all of that remains my view here. And we've been talking about this correction since November. It happened, until then, I also believed that we could see 100k Bitcoin, absolutely. So I'm not going to tell you that I saw this coming before we turned around, but I saw the turnaround happening, and I made you aware when we were at some point in the middle 50s that if a certain level gets broken, that we are then gonna activate this scenario. Until then, it was still possible. It was still possible to get to 100k in a bullish scenario, but that wasn't validated, and from then this here became the key scenario. Okay, and so far it's been working out. What are we doing here in the small scale? Well, yesterday I showed you here this possible beginning move down. Yeah, I've been talking about that now for over a week, I think. 1, 2. We might now be in the wave 3, but if we are in the wave 3, we really need to start going down now. If we don't do that, it is possible that we're still in the wave 2 and could come up once more. Yeah, so that will be decided, I guess, here in the next few days, maybe even earlier, maybe even today. But what did I show you yesterday in the video? I showed you here this wedge pattern. Yeah, and what is the target of a wedge? It's typically the beginning of the wedge, and we did come down nearly to that. So depending on how you see it, but the beginning with the wick here was 39.2. We did go down to 39.32. Okay, here with this huge candle. So we did break out of this wedge pattern, and we did not break out above it. We did break out below it, and we are now possibly retesting here from below. So we closed actually the daily candle below. Oh no, this is the 4 hour actually. Oh, let's go. Yeah, okay, let's keep the 4 hour for now. We closed the 4 hour candle below the wedge, and we're now trying to get back into it. But we retested it from below, and getting back into it was not successful. So we are currently seeing another red candle, and I think here's now where we're going to see a decision. Are we going to head down further? Is that a retest? And the thing is, we don't really see the volume, do we? Normally you would now need to see some selling volume. My feeling is it will just drag on a little bit because it's Sunday today. But what is quite interesting, that we broke out of this larger channel, obviously, and we have now retested it and then saw a strong reaction. Okay, and that is not super bullish. That's actually quite bearish, but we have not really moved away from it a lot. Let's take a look at the daily chart, and here again, daily, now the second day where we closed the daily candle outside of the channel, and that again is quite bearish. Also, I would say that candle is quite bearish because you see quite a long wick to the upside, went all the way up to 40k, and at 40k we saw that strong reaction. We will see more detail on the 1 hour chart, and there you go. Here you can actually see how we followed beautifully that ascending wedge, a bearish pattern. We broke out of it to the downside. That happens more often than not, and we also retested at the same time the channel. You see how we here attempted a breakout to the upside, and however we saw a retest, and that is what I told you in the last video, that if you see a breakout out of the wedge, there will be the other resistance, which is the support and possibly now resistance level of the channel in which Bitcoin is trading. And we did a retest here, and we then came down quite a lot. Of course, you never know if a retest will be successful or not until it's taken place. In this case, the retest was successful, but since then we've even moved up higher again, and we're now retesting that pattern from below. So a lower high basically, and this is now really where we need to see that decision. Showed you in the previous video as well that a similar pattern happened here, where we actually broke back into the channel. As you know, my view is that we are going down, so my hope is actually to accelerate that a little bit, that we won't go back into the channel because it would just extend it a little bit. It would just take longer again. But this is what's going to be decided, well, hopefully today, right? So important support levels here remain the 39.2k level. That's the swing low of this bearish flag. And the resistance remains here, the very important one, 40k. So we're now hovering between it. And down here is a very, very important support. Very, very important support. And I showed you that already here with that EMA ribbon. Let me just add that to the chart. Oh, not the EMA ribbon, the VPVR. So there you go. You can see how much volume there is, historical volume. And there are also a lot of buy orders placed in this area because there is so much historical volume. So looking at that volume profile, of all of these volume profiles here, this is the biggest, the major peak, and this is where we need to get through if we really want to go down lower. So therefore it is getting a bit difficult for the bears here at the moment. And yeah, one more look at the EMA ribbon on the 4-hour chart. What are we doing here? EMA ribbon, we're currently below it. Yeah, we had that short signal here, showed you that yesterday. On the 1-hour chart here, we're below it. As soon as we break above the EMA ribbon, yes, further upside would be possible. EMA ribbon, again, here roughly at 40k, so that would be in line with the what I've just told you. And the 4-hour EMA ribbon is a bit higher. You can see how that provided resistance before various times. So that would probably also be a bit of resistance even above 40k. So that's a problem because we are now below the EMA ribbon. And the daily is also far below the EMA ribbon on the daily. So again, further downside at the moment possible, actually more likely in my opinion, at least until we break back into that channel. Until then, because we are here in a short-term downtrend, I have to expect that we go down first before we go up. And because we could already have seen this wave 2 high, we could now be already in that wave 3. But to do that, we really need to keep going. Yeah, for example, this could already be the first wave of the third wave. Yeah, and this here the second. Now we go down further. But to do that, we need to break that 39.2k level. Okay, hopefully you liked the update. If you did, please hit the like button, leave a comment and subscribe. And if you really like the content, then check out the channel membership. Thanks a lot for watching. Bye-bye.